This video, basically what I want to do, I've been kind of talking about some concepts of Marx and his philosophy and economy and politics and government. In this video, I kind of want to talk about how his his um, talking about how capitalism is the wrong form of government, and how that relates to things like imperialism and colonialism. Now, to kind of give a little bit of a brief explanation of the whole bourgeois proletarian class struggle, as well as the alienation. I'm gonna do that a little bit here, but I do have a video where I go more further into it. So this is probably going to be just like a little brief, kind of vague explanation of it. So we have the proletarian who does the labor, does the work, and produces the goods, and he's paid minimally for it, and he has no choice to, because there's no real other options, and he has to do that in order to get that minimal wage to support himself and his family. And we have the bourgeois who owns all the modes and means of production, and they own everything, and basically they have the money, and they are the ones who kind of go after, maximizing profit and maximizing productivity, and trying to get surplus and profit out of the goods that are produced by the proletarian. So the proletarian does the work and makes the product, but once the product or the commodity is made, it belongs to the bourgeois. And the word alienation or estrangement means that basically the work or the labor that the proletarian does is a part of him, and that's a part of who he is, and that is immediately going to somebody else, and it's basically the work he does isn't even his. He's almost in a way owned or exploited, and not exploited, exploited by the bourgeois, where the bourgeois are the dominant class, and they have this whole idea of capitalism is kind of dominated by this ideology, where the bourgeois in a way almost own the proletarian and own the work and own the work he does, and own whatever he makes in that factory or whatever. So that's kind of how that whole thing works, and that's alienation from himself, because he is doing this because he has to for his own good and his family, and yet he's being alienated from himself. He's being alienated from himself in that he is, being the work he does, everything, or a lot of who he is basically immediately owned by somebody else. So how does this relate to colonialism and imperialism? This whole world imperialism was a word that was a lot of which talked about by Vladimir Lenin, who had a writing which was called The Highest Stage of Capitalism, to where a capitalist country or capitalist society who wants to branch out and wants to own more land, basically. How England and the European countries, once the New World was discovered, they wanted to, of course, branch out and find those places and plant their flag on them. And that, as history progressed, became a bit of an issue. The 13 colonies that was America, in the Revolution, had a bit of a problem with that. But that's only a version of what I want to talk about here. basically we have, well, in a way, England owned parts of India, and that in a way is colonialism. So colonialism is something that I will get to. Imperialism is a capitalist society branching out and wanting to plant their flag in new lands and set up means of production there and plunder resources and like taking and basically taking land that was full of a certain resource to gain profit for the main country, or basically taking any place just because it has a certain thing that a certain thing wants. So it's in a way a result of fetishism after a commodity or capital or money. So it's the highest stage of Capitalism by Lenin is a book I'm trying to read, which I think would be interesting. Now Marx talked about it a little bit, and as to how that is very very detrimental to the people who live in those colonies or the places that capitalist nations plunder and take and basically imperialize, or basically take as their own, and that's kind of the whole result of it. Now, colonialism is basically when a country only, let's say we have a country which is far away from its own colony or place that it is owning. When the main country tries to basically gain profit or commodity or capital from that place, and that's really all it wants from it, and that is detrimental to the people living there. Now, what I would like to get to read at some point is the colonialist writings of people like Edward Said, Homi Bhabha, Franz Fanon, Ward Churchill, and others also, because that I think it's kind of interesting to think about how the whole thing works, and then think about culture in that way, and in a way, Michel Foucault also is related to that whole thing as well, and has talked about it in a way. So I guess I'm thinking about imperialism mostly, and as to how that is just another form of trying to it's basically another form of or another result of fetishism, in that it's after a certain commodity or certain capital, and also even money, and there's people that are harmed by that, and that's, I think it's just looking at Marx's thought as just is kind of ways of thinking about how capitalism is not the best form of government or economy, and how that such government can be harmful and detrimental to people living in such places. So yeah, if you think I've said something wrong or messed something up, please comment below. Also, if you have a question, I've been taught Marx a lot, and I've just recently been rereading his stuff. So I might not be the best at Marx, but I want to say I'm pretty solid on it. So if you have a question, also comment below, because whenever you comment, I get an email, and if your comment is constructive, then I'll always respond. So thank you.